hate it, I loathe it, I despise it, I detest it, I feel contempt for it. I just, everything about it rattles, every one of my cages.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It wasn't the best of times, it was bloody awful.
What were the worst parts? Oh gosh, God, too many to count.
A bit embarrassing actually, but I did quite fancy the guy that played Will Scarlet. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think it was his accent. I'm just like, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, it was hot. In the accent, Meg. Gosh, the pressure's on now, isn't it? Beg for mercy, rich man!
Infamous, it's got its highs and its lows.
I can't believe it's been 10 years. The time flies.
I loved it, absolutely loved it.
I just think it's one of the best films ever made. It's better probably than Bend It Like Beckham. And I do not say that lightly.
Butt munch. When I first received the script, of course I didn't have to read for it because I was a very big star at the time. I was quite a big name, probably the biggest name. I'd say definitely the biggest name in the film. So my initial thought was, wow, that's long. I'm not going to read that. So I skipped my part, and that seemed fairly concise, so that was good. Although I did later think, why take the biggest name and give them the fewest lines? So, I mean, surely they'd seen my acting before. That's the way of the world.
When they offered me the role, I looked my agent straight in the eye. I said, I'll take it. And people thought I was mad. They said, don't touch that. That's a low-budget reboot of a movie that people really care about, and reboots are always a disaster. And I knew that, but I thought it could be different this time. I thought I could make it different, and I thought that if Sheriff of Nottingham could put Rickman on the map, then maybe it could do the same for me.
I remember getting a call from my agent, and she said, I've got this thing. I've got this thing. Oh my goodness, you are going to love it. I said, do tell. And she said, right, it's Robin Hood. I said, darling, I've already done it. I'd taken, because I was in the reboot for Robin Hood Men in Tights as well.
So I thought the actor who was playing Duncan was actually blind. And I just couldn't understand why he was such a prick about me helping him to cross the road. But now I know, with the benefit of hindsight, no offence, he was a prick. Didn't really get on with anyone on set. I found out later that their nickname for me behind my back was Robin of Coxley. I mean, that just sounds like it's another little place.
Oh yes, a huge impact on my career and me personally. You see the bath exchange, which you can see in the film, wasn't actually something that was scripted. We hadn't done a script reading, and he just said the word wrong. And that was a genuine exchange. I was surprised that the director kept it in the film because it was a very heated argument. He said it was funny, had comedic value, but that does seem strange because the film as a whole isn't really funny at all.
I wasn't going to do it like Rickman. I was going to do my own thing with the role, but the director, he kept pushing me. He said, do it more Rickman. More Rickman. That's pretty much the only thing he ever said in regards to my interpretation of the role, and I trusted him. I put my career in his hands, and he dropped it from a great height, like a cheeky tourist might drop an eclair off the top of the Eiffel Tower. and the delicate choux pastry of my career could not withstand such a fall.
Definitely opened doors. I mean, it made me sort of consider lots of things to do with what I could do. I did quite an extensive amount of research for the role, so I actually studied to become an accountant for the role of the scribe. It's sort of an adjacent role, and I became a brother to play the brother.
Was the acting bad? No, of course not. It was an incredible cast of people absolutely acting their socks off. I suppose if you're being very picky, you could perhaps criticise some of the accents a little. I'm not naming any Johns, but you can't expect every actor to have the breadth of accent training that some of us do. So you can't expect every actor to know that it's actually pronounced Nottinghamshire.
No, I don't think the acting was bad. I think the acting was brave. I mean, my character had 2 accents in the same film. Who does that? I mean, if Daniel Day-Lewis had done... If I was Daniel Day... I sort of am Daniel Day-Lewis in a way. And, I mean, I don't know how to make shoes, but I don't think it was bad. Was it?
Why was I cast as Mortiana? I don't know. I suspect it was a mix-up with the casting. There was another Claire in the cast, and the only difference was his name spelled with an I. But the irony is that I decided to play Mortiana with a fake I that kept falling out. So they chose the wrong Claire, really, because if they'd chosen the other one, the I would have stayed in.
I'm Claire Harvey, and in the movie I played the witch. No, I didn't. No. I'll go again. Sorry, I was just doing funny. Yeah. Again? Okay. I'm Claire Harvey, and in the movie I played Peasant 2. Yeah. Peasant 2. Yeah. Not the witch. Not the witch.
Look, it was a tricky film to shoot. We didn't have a lot of money, which made it difficult, and people didn't always get on as well as they might have done, perhaps because of that. I know that John and Amelia had several fallings out. Amelia did insist on referring to the script as Pigswill, I think is what she called it. So, and as the writer of the movie, I think John took that to heart. So no, they didn't get on particularly well. Yeah, you should ask John about that.
I don't remember her, but if you tell me that she didn't like me, I don't think anybody liked me, so I can believe it. What I want to know is, was she the one who used to piss in my coffee? Because it's been 10 years and I've not been able to drink Costa coffee since. Because it's not as good. Honestly, I think she's a medical marvel, and she needs to, take that to the Dragon's Den or something. I don't know how the presentation would go. You'd need some good marketing.
I do drink a lot of hazelnut syrup.
No comment.
Get lost, butt munch.
I would love to say that everyone is still friends after all these years, but it's just not true. I mean, I've called Philippa hundreds of times since she moved to Hollywood, and she has never replied. And I wasn't always asking for money. Sometimes I was asking for sexual favours.
I'm sorry, what was this film? And I was in it? Dressed in a slanket? That's ludicrous. I never would have done something like that.
The good parts, there's so many good parts of filming that film. So many good parts of filming that film. I mean,
I'm sorry, I don't have time for this. This interview's over.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm, well, probably the world's biggest fan of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and it's the 10-year anniversary this year, so I'm obviously really, really excited. In case you're wondering what this is, it's actually really special to me. It's the actual hat worn by John Dumont, who played Robin Hood. This is his actual hat from the film, and amazingly, it was just, I found it at the market, my local market, just in a box. But I asked the man, and he said it was the real thing. So I just can't believe how lucky I am. And sometimes I think if you're a true fan, then luckiness, just, you know, things about the film are just drawn to you. So I'll be wearing this all year, every day. Just so I always carry a piece of the film with me.
J'ai quitté l'industrie britannique parce que ça me convenait plus trop, donc je suis repartie en France et voilà, je suis devenue professeure d'anglais. Donc depuis, on va dire que voilà, j'étudie avec des jeunes en gros pour leur ouvrir des portes et comme disait Lacan par exemple, c'est un peu la...
I was falling a little out of love with acting, and I had a lot of cats to look after. So I actually made the very logical step of transferring to accent and voice coaching. So yes, I've worked with some very big people. Mike Myers, I taught him how to do a Scottish accent for Shrek. Actually, there were some Scots on Robin Hood, and they were very impressed.
Why wasn't I in the film? I mean, you'd have to ask them. In retrospect, I think they probably were a bit intimidated by me, because I'm actually a trained actor, and a lot of them just do it for fun.
I think that's unfair. I can assure you that nobody had any fun on that movie. Not the actors, not the crew, and certainly not the audience.
Am I pleased that it was such a flop? Does it give me pleasure that my friend's endeavour failed to have any impact on the cultural world at all? No. No. Not at all, not one bit.
Le film, pour moi, ça a été voilà, cette phase lacanienne, jungienne peut-être, de se retrouver face à soi-même et voilà, de vraiment porter la question de comment déconstruire soi-même, enfin voilà, ce qu'on attend de la vie, tout ça. Donc j'ai pris une approche qui était peut-être un peu comme celle de Derrida ou de Foucault, si vous voulez. Et voilà, j'ai déconstruit tout ça, je me suis posé beaucoup de questions. Ah, oui, non, mais voilà, que vous dire d'autre? Enfin, voilà, ça m'a pas, ça m'a aidé, mais ça m'a pas affecté plus que ça, quoi. Donc voilà, et tout va bien. Je vis ici avec mes enfants, avec mes animaux, et enfin, la vie est belle, quoi. Qu'est-ce que vous voulez que je vous dise? Enfin, je veux dire, ça a été une expérience, voilà, pas mal, mais enfin voilà, maintenant ça va beaucoup mieux, quoi.
Look, money was tight on that movie, and we had to make a lot of cutbacks. For example, we couldn't shoot the climactic scene, the storming of Nottingham Castle, at Nottingham Castle as we'd originally intended. When we got a quote from them, they wanted £100,000, and we just didn't have that kind of money. I think it was John who suggested we do a little bit of a guerrilla filmmaking. Hands up, I misunderstood. Shouldn't have brought those primates with me. It was carnage. But the important thing is that almost nobody was harmed. And that's what the headlines don't tell you.
You can see that there used to be a staircase there, right? You can see that. That's it. This is where we filmed it. The final scene, my death scene. And I remember on the day, I was at the top of the staircase and they said, we want you to fall down this staircase like you're dying with a spoon in your belly. And I said, I can't do that, man. That's one for the stunt double, you know, that's too dangerous. That looks like a really dangerous staircase. And they said, oh, no, that staircase, that's just industry standard. It's very safe to fall down. You know, so I did what they said. I put the spoon to my belly and I started falling, and straight away I knew that was not an industry standard staircase. That was a much more dangerous staircase, and falling down it was actually very painful, you know. And I said that to the director and the producer the next day. I said, I know that was not an industry standard staircase and I can prove it. And they said, what staircase? You know? So I took them back to location and look, gone. They took it away overnight, so I couldn't prove it. That's the kind of organization that it was. Do you see that now? Do you see that? There used to be a staircase there. Gone.
Well, it turns out that the reason the building was so cheap to shoot in was that it'd been condemned. It was structurally unsound. I think it was Dom actually falling down the stairs that set everything in motion. He literally brought the house down. Admittedly a structurally unsafe house, but you know, still an achievement. I think it was more annoying for me because I was staying there at the time and most of my possessions were still in the basement. I never got them back.
Hello, Naughty Anna.
Yes. Yeah, named after such an icon and such a strong female character who I think is going to teach her a lot of great lessons. So there she is, my little Mortiana.
The witch stuff? No, it's over for me. I would never go back there. Didn't get it.
No, I haven't tried to pursue that as a career at all.
Didn't get it. Just turn it off. No, it's over for me. I would never go back there. No, it's good. We're good. Is that your car? Is that your car there? Do you need to move it? You need to move it? Alright, well I think we're done anyway, aren't we now? Yeah. Alright, thanks a lot. Thank you.
I have got some signatures for one of the casts. It's quite unusual actually. She sends them to me. It's one of the girls that plays the peasant called Claire Harvey. I've got about 15 or 16 of her signatures that she sent to me as well, which is nice. I have told her to stop sending them, but they keep coming. And obviously that's great for me because, you know, such a fan. But you can stop sending them if you want.
Tell you what, being famous, it's got its highs and its lows.
Aye.
Oh, people notice us on the street and then stop, constantly asking for things.
There's Mavis next door.
Oh,
she's asking all the
she's
time.
asking for stuff.
It was,
Aye. I tell you what now, there's not very many people who actually will understand what it's like to be this kind of famous, but you know, you've got your other big famous Scots who would actually in a wee bit of a club with some of them. Some of them are dead, so none of them. But some of the others, like we're on like good terms. We sometimes like message them. Billy,
Annie,
Sean. Oh, he's dead, but Sean.
He's away now.
Fran.
Fran for Travis.
Aye,
Fran for Travis. That's his full name.
Yeah.
Aye.
We Jimmy. Cranky.
Cranky. The other Cranky.
One of the good parts of being famous is we've actually started our own academy.
Aye,
because we've had such like we've just been inundated with requests. We've got our own school, and it's actually like method acting, people like properly getting them into the method acting of what we've been doing in the films. And I tell you what, we've been getting some smashing results. We're pure proud of them. They're amazing. Yeah.
I suppose what I'm really passionate about now and really focusing on now is my my wellness business. So I'm a wellness influencer now. I am my brother's keeper, so at I am my brother's keeper on Instagram and all of the anywhere that you look really. And yeah, that's just really about lifestyle, wellness, you know, well-being as well, being well and being alive. And yeah, and just the idea that we are all, sorry, I don't know why I bumped it. Yeah, so I'm just really focused on that now, and it's been a bit of a kind of revolution in my world.
The exchange on film prompted a lifelong quest, really, to prove that Bath is pronounced as such. I moved to the city of Bath, where people always pronounce it correctly, and did a PhD at the University of Bath. You can read one of my many books, my latest volume. It's all to do with pronouncing Bath, and people have often said that surely it's a matter of north and south, or moneyed and working class. This book argues very much that it's more of a wrong and right.
What's next? Oh, that's a good question. Well, I have just secured the option to a rather good book that I'm hoping to turn into a movie. It's the Book Code. Have you heard of it? Oh, it is wonderful. Look, just the cover star is it's optional. He doesn't have to be. It'd be good if he was her, but doesn't have to be. Anyway, it's a Da Vinci Code rip-off. No. Well, a little bit.
It wasn't a huge part for me, but I had a really good advisor and invested well for me. But it's kind of caused a little bit of derision between me and the other guys. But I'm here earning 20%, sitting on this beach. Can't knock that. And some of the others that just couldn't deal with it. But we're all still friends, right?
No.
Oh no.
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 Who?
Yeah, shame about Max. He was a really nice guy.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah, real shame.
Yeah, it's Jamie, he worked in the production as well. Yeah, lovely guy. Always it was always up for a laugh, and yeah. But hey, who knows what happened there?
What happened with Max was a tragedy. It truly was. But I don't think John had anything to do with it. I know the rumours, but I mean the coroner puts the time of death at just past midnight, I believe. Well, I don't think John has ever stayed up that late.
In my defence, the level of training that I was afforded before filming began was very poor. They sent me on a fencing course, and all I learned was how to, put the posts in. Always put the posts in first.
Is this movie cursed? Yeah, I think it might be. Is that related in some way to Max's death? Possibly, but it could equally be the death of Stephen or Sandra from catering. And there were a surprising number of deaths on this movie.
Hello. My name is Arnold McTrivers. As I'm sure you know, I'm a professor of the occult. Yes, as I feared, these are books. Yeah, an evil presence has been looking out of this mirror at you in your daily life, spying on you. It's very evil, this house. Where's your evil master? I'm gonna need an address. It's just, I thought it was a small ghost, it's actually a tissue. Now, when the ghost is ready to greet us, it will turn the lights off. Guffing some farts out of his mouth about how he was just as good a shot in real life as Robin. We walked past a half-deconstructed props table and I picked up his bow and I said, "Go on then, show me, golden boy." Then he backed off, but I called him out for being the coward that he was. What could go wrong, I said. The next thing I knew, I had an apple on my head and an arrow in my chest. I stumbled backwards and fell into the moat, and as I drifted down into the dark green black of it, I looked up and I saw his face in the moonlight as he threw the bow in after me and ran. And this is where I've sat since.
In art, there is always collateral damage. And, you know, what is this if not art? Seriously, what is it?
Eels ate my skin, and pikes make merry of my bones. But when it's finally his time, I will be waiting for him in the deep and the dark.